Spot. You're watching the Whatever Takes Network. I'm Robyn Crane, and I have a special guest today. His name is Michael Six. Not Michael Sex. Michael Six. Okay, we're gonna bring on Michael. I only said Sex because of the financial G-spot. I can say it right here on the Whatever Takes Network. So come on here. If we had a live audience, we'd be able to clap. Okay.
Please stay in your seat. Calm down.
The reason he's special is because he's a magician. He's got some tricks up his sleeve.
I do.
Literally?
Yeah. No, not literally. I roll them up. This way I can't cheat. But I'll use my hands. Most magicians do. If you watch this side of my hand, I'm going to pull the skin just like this. And if I stretch it, you actually see it begin to stretch out.
Whoa! Can you get it close? Do you see that? Okay, that's really, really freaky.
So we get 6. Don't worry. You can take it off like this. You take it off, you put it back. It's a magnet. You can pull it off. It comes right off. Okay. Doesn't come off that easily.
Is that just you have an extra finger?
No, that's a magic trick. It wasn't
That
there a
really
second
is
ago.
You can get rid of that?
I could, but I won't do it now. So I want to show you something else. My specialty is in playing cards. Not only do I do
Wait,
stuff.
I can't even focus on that. I'm still wondering what's going on with the finger. You did get that, right?
It's magic with an extra touch. That's what I like to call it. It's a little bit of crazy.
There's
move.
even got some hair on there. Like, this is a real finger. If this disappears, I'm going to be very,
If you go
very...
to NYU Hospital on the 14th floor, talk to Bob. He'll take care of you.
You can just get an add-on finger? Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to try to forget about that and focus on the cards.
I know, it makes it difficult. I know we close with that, but I figured this would be a
Well,
better
that was
way
a
to go.
very exciting opening.
Most magicians will find your card. That's what they do. Right? They
Okay.
pick a card, they
Yeah.
find it. But I want to change the scenario this time.
Okay.
You get to find your own card.
I get to find
You
my
do.
card.
So whichever one you want to take out, it's up to you. You can reach inside and take it out.
Okay.
Would you like to sign it, or do you trust me? Do you want to look through the rest of them, make sure that card doesn't exist anywhere else?
I'm going to trust you on
Yeah,
this
trust
one.
me. Cool. I want you to take it, place it back. I'm going to keep it inside the middle. Now I'm going to give it a couple of cuts and a shuffle. And I want you to use your judgment.
I forgot to show you what it was.
You didn't show them?
Yeah, I'm an amateur when it comes to, let's do it one more time.
Anyone you want to go for. Reach
Okay,
inside,
can I look
take it out.
again?
Yeah, you want to look, right? Please.
Okay.
Whichever one you want to go for. You got it?
All right, now I'll show you.
Show the camera. That's important. Are you satisfied?
Okay, I'm now satisfied.
That was easy.
Okay.
Take it, place it back there. And now you have to kind of keep your eye on where the cards are. I'm going to just give them a little mix like this, a couple of cuts, a couple of shuffles. I'm not going to find your cards. You're going to find it, like I said.
Oh, okay.
It makes it a little bit easier for me, harder for you. I'm going to assume it's not the top one, Jack of Hearts.
You're right.
That was it?
No, you're right in your assumption.
My assumption.
Yes.
I want you to take the Jack, and I want you to put it where you think your card is. Go for it. Don't let go of it, though. Stick it anywhere in where you think your card is. Right there. Hold it, because I'm going to cut it. The 4 of clubs. Did we get it?
No?
Seriously?
Yeah. Is that part of
The Queen of clubs.
No?
No? It's a club, though.
No?
Which one was it?
Oh, it stumped him!
Which one was it? Seriously.
5 of spades.
It's done.
Oh, that was really good! Look at that. Totally got me. I was really concerned for a second that he messed up. I was kind of embarrassed for him.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank
Yeah,
you for
well,
caring.
I did care. Hey, give him a hand back at home. Yay!
Clap,
Very
clap, clap.
awesome.
Thank
Clap,
you.
clap, clap. I don't know how you do that, but that's awesome. All right, come sit down. Let's talk about all your money problems.
Yeah, the fun money stuff.
So you can make a finger appear, but not money, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's not so much the money that's the issue. It's what to do with money. That's really my question.
So do you have plenty of money? You just don't know what to do with it, really?
I wouldn't say plenty, but I'm not starving by any means.
Okay. So what do you do with your money now? So you make a decent living?
I do. I own a company, and I also do magic for a living.
What's your company about?
So System 6 Magic is my company, and we produce magic DVDs for magicians and also custom playing card designs.
Okay.
So they're standard decks of cards, but just fancy designs and custom court cards and that sort of thing.
Okay, cool.
Fancy boxes.
Nice.
And the DVDs are instructional DVDs for magicians. So
Okay.
I come up with magic tricks. So like one of my jobs is also that I consult for other magicians. So a magician that may be on TV, I would come up with a trick for them, and they would take the trick
Like
and use
add
it.
an extra finger.
Something like that. Yeah, exactly. And if
That's
someone
a
wants to
sheer
use it on
trick.
TV,
I notice he still has the finger, guys.
I'm gonna keep it there. It's not going anywhere now.
Okay, okay. I'm just trying to figure out what's the real problem here. So tell me what's the real problem. So it sounds
Well-
like you're doing okay. Are you doing really well? Are you doing it, like, as far as income goes? Let's start with, there are 3 things in regards to whether or not you're going to have money. It starts with this: how much you make, how much you spend, then whatever's left over is how much you keep.
Mhm.
So I'm going straight for the make side, income. So how great is your income? Is it?
It varies.
Honestly, is it okay, or is it like?
Yeah, it's not. It's not. Outrageous at the moment, but it's going all right. So, I mean, my career is just now starting to take off. So now it's getting better and better.
And are you, as far as the spending side, are you spending less than you make?
I invest most of my money. So most of my money,
what?
I put it right back into my company.
Okay, so you're investing back into your business.
So that's kind of, I guess, the only real investment I have. But realistically, in my eyes, being 26, I understand that I don't believe Social Security and pension, none of that's going to be available for me, especially doing stuff myself. I don't want to think about it because, right. if it comes available, great. Well, I'm not going to depend on it by any means.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What do you keep? So you're keeping zero because everything's going back into your business?
Yes and no. Like just recently, just over the last month, I just started putting some money away just for investment purposes.
Where does it go?
So right now, it's just a savings account.
Okay, and how much do you have saved so far?
Right now, it's about $5,500.
$5,500.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, you're 26 years old, so congrats. Awesome. Awesome that you're already doing this and you're already thinking about this. So I want to help you with that, but I want to see like what things might be holding you back other than just like what to do with your money, because you don't have much money to do anything with. As Grant Cardone would say, you got baby money. So when we come back, we'll talk more about that, and I'm so happy you're here to do those magic tricks. Again, you're watching the Financial G-Spot on the Whatever It Takes Network. Is there one, before we go to break, is there one question, besides like where do I invest, one question you have for me so I can think about it?
What's your frame of thought when you invest?
Okay, frame of thought. So when we come back, I'm going to answer the question, what's my frame of thought when I invest? Again, you're watching the Financial G-Spot. Welcome back. You're watching the Financial G-Spot on the Whatever It Takes Network. I'm Robyn Crane, and I'm here with Michael Six, who is a magician. If you didn't see the first segment, go back and watch the crazy tricks. And you're also an entrepreneur, and you have your own company. You said you're going to be on the Food Network.
I already have been, and it's going to be again this Sunday.
Okay, so you're doing some appearances.
Yeah.
And then you're also a consultant for other magicians.
Yep.
Okay, so what I like about that is that when, a lot of people come to the show and they're all over the place, not focused, and the Financial G-Spot is really about where you need to focus so that you can have that money orgasm, so you can feel great about money instead of feeling terrible at money, feeling like you don't have enough. So there's always this one area you can focus on more to help you financially. So what I like is that you have multiple things you're doing, but it's all in line. It's like you have one business, and this business is, the umbrella is, magician.
Yes.
And then you have different arms of that, which is really cool. So you asked me, tell me again, what's my frame
of thought when investing?
Frame of thought when investing. So tell me what you mean by that so I can answer the question.
So I think when we do anything, there's always like emotion behind it, or where we're thinking about something. And obviously in investing, it's to make as much of a return as you can by putting your money in somewhere. But besides the obvious, because you said that, don't ask the how, right? Just where do I put money?
Right.
Not that. But what is your mind frame when you're looking at certain investments, or before you even go into investments? Because I'm sure you have a specific way of thinking about things that someone like me doesn't think about. And it's not just picking the right stock or whatever the case is, the right investment. It's just the way you have it all folded, I guess, in your head.
Yeah, that's a great question. So for me, I would say two things that are most important when you're investing is, number one, you have to take risk. And number two, you also have to protect yourself. And when you're taking risk, you need to know what's the real risk that you're taking. You can only know like kind of, because you'll never know exactly like 0.72 whatever percent risk or whatever it is. But you can have a good you can definitely get close on knowing what is the risk, like what are you potentially risking, and then what is the potential reward. And a lot of people, when they go into investing, they just say, okay, now I have money, and now I want to invest it, and so I'm just going to throw it at something and hope it works. Oh, stock market, oh, buy this property, oh, whatever. And risk could be not just money, but time. My husband and I are looking into buying an investment property. And we were really excited about what we found, and everything looks great, and we had to look at, well, what's the risk financially? We can't rent the place, and we're not making money on it like that. We'll have to fix it up. but we also have to look at our time. What's the time that we're going to have to invest in it, because that takes away from our business.
Of course.
So that's kind of my long answer to an easy question, but I would say you need to know risk. So where you're at with 5,500, like I said, Grant would say that's baby money. Like right now, you just got to build that up. And definitely, like, I don't want to talk too much of investing, so I want to talk more about you and your mindset. But the last thing I'll say about it is that when you have security, like if you had, instead of 5,500, you had 55,000, from that point of reference, you will be a better investor than having only 5,500.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because you feel more secure, and then you can be like, okay, now that's like my security or half of it or whatever, and then I can go and take more risk, still knowing what your reward could be and the potential behind it. So seems kind of boring to me to talk about investing. So let's go more about you. You're obviously a go-getter. It sounds like you work hard to get what you want. So what do you need, like here, to break the ceiling, like break through the ceiling? Because you're not making the income you want to make, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody is never making the income they want to make. We always want to make more.
And you're only 26, so whatever. But like, let's get you to be like that 26-year-old millionaire.
Yeah, I think for me, a lot of it's because growing up, I didn't really have the foundation from my family. My family wasn't really investing or anything like that. And when I was 11, my house burned down. So my parents separated.
Wow.
And that's kind of a crucial time in your life when you're just about to be a teenager. And through those teen years, I was just with my mother and my brothers, and she was managing the whole situation. And
Your house burned down.
It burned down, yeah.
How? What happened?
It was an electrical fire.
Please tell me you weren't responsible.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't cooking or anything like that. But it was just one of those things that, we wake up in the night, and I had one of my best friends sleeping over, and he goes, "You hear something beeping?" I go upstairs, and I ask my father, and he's just, "Oh, just check the hallway. It's probably nothing. It's probably just I'm upstairs cooking." And then I go into the hallway. It's just black smoke everywhere, just completely, dark.
Was it just? Do you have siblings?
I do. So me, two of my other brothers were there.
Oh my goodness.
My best friend, my brother's girlfriend, now his wife, was there also, and we had to run out of the house and get help, and it was a crazy moment. And then that's kind of the point that my parents split. So it also made it a little bit more difficult because now my mother, she was, for the most part.
Did it set you guys back? I mean, your parents back financially because the house burned down? Like, was that?
Well, we were renting. We didn't own, thankfully.
Okay.
In that case, and it was also a different time then than it is now. So thankfully, it was a lot cheaper and everything like that. But I think the big hit, financially, of course, is that my mother. I mean, she worked part time, but she wasn't. My father was the main provider of the household. So when they split, it made things a little bit harder. And he had to obviously manage getting his own place, and she was, my mother was working on getting her place and taking the kids, and that just made everything very difficult for everybody. So, financially, of course, it adds up, especially when you have,
And how do you think that experience and just growing up in general with your parents the way they were, how did that affect you and your money?
It just didn't give me a knowledge of money, because that's kind of like the time I would think you would learn.
Didn't give you the knowledge of money.
Yeah, I think in your teens is kind of when you start learning, and then as you get to like 17, 18, you really start figuring things out, and then around this point, you're supposed to start really trying to do stuff with your money.
Okay, so and how are they financially now? Like, are they set? Are they struggling? Are they?
My father just retired, so he's doing okay. My mother still kind of like paycheck to paycheck, but I mean, she's doing better than she was before. She's just building everything back up, and so
okay.
it's.
And what are your money patterns as far as like, are you a spender? Are you a saver? Are you a You seem kind of like even keel, but I'm just guessing from.
Yeah, I'm kind of even because the industry that I'm in. It's you don't really get paid on like a weekly or a monthly basis. There'll be a time where I'll get a big lump. I'll get $10,000 one month. And the next month I may not get anything. And the next month after that I may get $4,000. And it, kind of hit or miss, and depending, it's all timing. And so I tend to get large chunks of money, and then go a couple months without getting anything. And I would love to keep the large chunks of money.
So when you get the large chunks, are you good about making it last, or do you go into debt?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of have to. I mean, when I was younger, I used to mess around, and there was times where it was like, oh no, I gotta pay bills tomorrow. How do I get money?
So do you have any consumer debt at all?
Just some basic credit cards, nothing outrageous.
Like how much?
A couple hundred, like 500 on each card or something. That's 2 cards, and
do you usually pay them off every month?
Yeah.
Okay. Because what I love is that you're saying these things like, of course, everybody does that, but this is not how everybody is. So when we come back, I want to go more into your money pattern. Again, this is Robyn Crane. You're watching the Financial G-Spot on the Whatever It Takes Network, and I'll see you back after the break. Welcome back. You're watching the Financial G-Spot. I'm Robyn Crane. This is the Whatever It Takes Network, and I got Michael Six here. And I had to backtrack because I started to say all these things during the break that I wanted to make sure you get to hear as well. So the first question I asked you is there any pain around money with you? Because I feel like, for our audience here, it's going to be kind of like, if it's so even keel, like this guy is like, you're 26, so not a lot has, happened in your career yet too much, as far as you're just because you're young, but it's like, it seems like you're playing small, like you have a business set up. It sounds brilliant. You're not just playing like, okay, I'm just going to be a magician and hope I make some money and make whatever magicians make. It sounds like you're thinking big enough to know, I have a company. And with that company, like I'm also a consultant to help other, and that's where the money is, man, is to be a consultant to help other magicians. But it's like, are you just playing too small? Maybe you have money and you're just putting all back in the business. I'm trying to get go deep for me, man.
I think if I really had to go in and pinpoint one thing, it would be that I'm indecisive in many things. So there's points where obviously I know what to do because I've tried 10,000 different things and now I figured it out.
Tell me when you totally screwed up in your business or
my first business was definitely so this is my first business is when I was in my teens, and that was Magic for Kids, where it was just a kids entertainment company. And it just killed me, and it was service business, so I was out not selling a product, I was out performing, and I was trying to hire clowns and magicians and bouncing castles and all that stuff.
In your teens, sounds pretty ambitious, but keep going. When did you totally screw up? I'm dying to know.
Well, it's just that you relying on other people, and these people just wouldn't show up on time, and then I only had that company for about 2 years, and it was just a headache all the time.
Go in the hole, or just cost you time?
Yeah, absolutely.
And was it big, or was it?
Yeah, it was close to probably $15,000.
Okay, and you were how old?
19, 20-ish, right around there. And it just hit because I was sending people out, and some people would show up late, and customers are calling, and why is this person late? And
how is it in your business now? Is it just you, or do you have other people to rely on?
So I just bought the other half of the company from my business partner. But it's not so much a service business. I do my personal shows and stuff like that, but the company itself, for the most part, is products, DVDs and playing cards. So do you have
employees and stuff, or is it just you?
Right now, it's just me. I do have a few people that I work with that help me, because it's not a type of business that I need everyday help. Because most of it's shipping place just ships my DVDs and sales.
Okay, and going back when you went $15,000 in debt as a teenager, 19 or 20. Yeah. How did you get out of that? Because one of the things I mentioned is that earlier you were saying, like if I don't have a lot of debt because I have a choice. I get paid in a clump, and then I gotta pay things off. Like, you do have a choice.
Yeah.
A lot of people out there choose to be in a lot of debt. Now they say, I'm not choosing it, it's happening to me. Yeah, it's your choice. So you chose to get out of that debt, sounds like. Did you get out?
Yeah. And you just a lot of time, and that's what killed me. Like, I started realizing that my time is so valuable. Like, spending time just to pay something else off, and it's like, geez, imagine what I could do if I was putting my time like somewhere better. So now I'm like almost afraid of getting into debt. Maybe in my investing that scares me, because I'm afraid to put money somewhere, because that may take my time away, and I don't want to relive what I lived again.
Okay, so bring me back to that, because I'm kind of confused. The time to pay off your debt? What do you mean time?
Yeah, because I had to spend time and work to raise the money to pay off that $15,000.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is, like, if I owe $15,000, my first $15,000 I make, not my first, but the $15,000 I make, I got to pay back to people, and that's time.
Yeah.
I might work for 6 months, and I don't know how much you made in your teens or 20. I might have to work for 6 months to get $15,000 to pay that back.
Yeah.
And now my time of 6 months.
And it was even longer than that. It was even longer than 6 months. And it's like, because at that time, once I got rid of the company, it was like I wasn't really doing much. I was just kind of out on my own and just like, all right, let me see. And I didn't really have anyone to call and say, hey, what should I do? Because my family doesn't really invest and do that sort of thing. So, just starting from scratch and paying off.
But that, you did it. You came out of it. People come on the show and they're like, I'm in my 40s and I'm still paying for what I did in my 20s and 30s. But it sounds like you got out of it. You don't have $15,000 of debt anymore, right?
No. But it sounds like, when you said it before, it's like maybe I'm playing small, and maybe that's it. Maybe now I have a fear of playing big because I don't want to go back to that situation.
And I think that's it. I would say, as far as what you need to focus on, make, spend, or keep, it's gonna be the make. You know, you got $5,500 that you've saved, which is great, and you're not carrying any balances on your credit cards.
No, that's just like again, like
But
a
you
few
pay 'em
hundred.
off.
Yeah, but I mean,
You pay them off, so you're not carrying any balances. So that's unusual, by the way. But you're right. It sounds like what happened to you, or what you did to yourself at 19 and 20 was great. It was a really good lesson. It's like, here, you're gonna start working. Bam! Let me hit you hard where it hurts.
Yeah.
And now you gotta work. And you decided, I'm not gonna let that happen again. So that was a great lesson. But now it's holding you back, and that's typically what happens with us, is that, you know, you learn something and then like you overcompensate. So what do you think has to happen for you to break through that ceiling? And I don't know what your ceiling is. It could be 100 grand, it could be $1 million, but where you need to focus is your income. And you're obviously a great talent. You're obviously very fun to be around. I'm sure you got, like, you know, lots of friends. Like, people like you. It's obvious, like, you're a little charmer.
Well, thank you.
Yes. So you're charming audience, you charm people. So you can use that, not in a manipulative way, but you can use that to break through. So what do you think is like gonna get you through that?
I guess I gotta trust myself more. It seems like, because it is scary to go. I mean, to play. I mean, because again, you know, that risk.
The risk of losing.
You know, and you got the reward. Of course, the reward always looks pretty, but that risk is probably what's scaring me off from really jumping into investing. And
what do you think's the worst that can happen if you were to play big? Like, and what does play big even mean? Like, that you put yourself out there. Like, what does that mean to you? Because where's the risk? Tell me what the risk is.
There's a couple of different things, right? One is obviously the money, right? I don't want to play that game of being in a big hole.
So
like
you're
that
saying,
again.
as far as if I have to play big, I have to invest more money. Is that what you're thinking? What's the money?
Yeah, and it's also about putting myself out there a little bit more, because there's always that fear of, you know, you don't want to go out there and do something stupid, especially when you have a good track record. You don't want to go mess something up, because I lived through a mess up, and maybe, I mean, thinking about it now, maybe I apply that fear of, you know, playing big with money, also playing big with my career scares me slightly more, because I seen that I could hit a big road bump and how much time it takes.
And by the way, the only way to really play big is to hit road bumps. And if you can, instead of being fearful of it, if you can embrace it and also plan for it. You know how I said, you asked me about investing, and I said part of it is really understanding the risk and reward. Like, you need to understand the risk, but if you're taking a little bit of risk and the reward is huge, then it may be worth it. But you got to expect that whatever the risk is, you got to expect that you might actually hit that. So am I willing to lose, you know, let's just say time. Let's just say 6 months of your time you spent like trying to build out your business, you know, build out the products, or I don't know what you need to do in your business, or build out the consulting. Let's just say the consulting.
Okay.
And you're like, man, I'm going to be the best magician consultant in the world. And not just help them do great magic, but actually help them make money.
Yeah.
And you decide, I'm gonna go and be a high paid advisor. You know, I'm gonna get paid for this, and I'm gonna teach them how to do that. What's the real risk besides your time?
Besides time, it's I guess, I mean, a lot of it that holds me back is my, you know, indecisiveness at times. It's like, is this really the right thing? Should I be focusing on my career versus other people's careers?
Awesome. So we're going to wrap up, and here I want to use that as something you can do. So number one, here are the few things I'm going to give you. And you at home can do the same. If you're feeling like you're hitting the ceiling with your income, where you know you can make more money, whether it's in your business or it's at your job, or you're at a job and you're just playing small, then you need to step up and start playing big. And Michael, you're doing amazing things. You're 26 years old. I want to give you props for everything you're doing. You're putting yourself out there. I mean, you're doing magic. You have fingers flying all over the place, and you're going on the Food Network. I mean, you've been on it before. Things are happening. This indecisiveness, because you mentioned that at the beginning, is something that you just got to stop. So whatever decision you make, you got to go with it. I wish I knew the quote, but I know someone very wealthy said something about how if you, instead of just I know, it was someone, he decided I'm going to make this decision, and I don't remember what it was, but whatever that decision was, it was someone was like, how did you know to make that huge decision? That was so crazy, so risky. He's like, well, I knew, because once I made it, I would figure out if it was the right decision or not. But if he didn't make it, and now he's just this or that, he ends up staying where he is, nothing happens. So for now, you